All right, today we're talking about vision alignment. Super key. Super key. So after we go through and we really start to build out that vision that we have for the next 3 years, 18 months, a year, however long you're casting out your vision. Once we do that, the next step is it needs to align. It needs to align with a lot of things. So once you have that vision set, your next step is to start breaking down and looking at how are you going to build your plan? How are you going to build your strategy to make this happen? Why that's important to give yourself a gift and get a second in command, however that person looks. Okay. Because again, the next step is to build your plan. And one of the biggest mistakes that people make, big mistake, is they have, and I've done it. That's why I'm saying it's a mistake. I've done it. I've seen many people that I work with when they start working with me and they're like, Teresa, we are not getting anywhere. No, we're not gaining any traction. We're not gaining any momentum. We don't understand why. And when I ask the question, what is it? Like, what is it that you want to build? What is your big goal, or what is your desire? What is your big dream? And they tell me, and then we look at the actions that they've taken or the plan that they built, and the two don't align. So what we need to do is, your vision is going to be your GPS. It is going to drive absolutely everything. And it's one thing, and like I said, it's a mistake that a lot of people make, to set that vision and forget it. They set the vision and then they go back to, oh, this is what we think we need to do with action steps and goals. And the two do not connect. So you're never going to make that vision happen if you don't take the right actions every day to make sure that the two align. So first step is you're going to start building out your plan. Okay, you're going to have your vision and you're going to start building out your plan with your co-creators and your constructors and even your collaborators. So you're going to start building out the strategy, and we're going to talk about the strategy in some other videos, but you're going to start building out your plan and saying, what do we need to do in the next year? What do we need to do in the next 6 months, 90 days, 1 month? And then you have your action steps for each day, which again, we'll talk about in another video. But when you're looking at your plan and saying, here is starting to build the how, you already did the why and the what with your vision. When you cast it out, the next step is to start figuring out the how. Okay, how are we going to make this happen? So when you're building out your plan, you always want to make sure that it aligns with your vision. Do not do them separate. When we talk about goals, we will talk about steps that you need to take every single day that align with your vision, which we will get to in a later video. But the biggest thing that you want to remember is your strategy that you're putting into place. Strategy for your marketing, strategy for operations, strategy for finance, for sales and lead gen, and for that customer experience. When you're laying all of those plans out, it always needs to go back to and align with that vision. When we find that something doesn't align, or when opportunities come up, because a lot of people have shiny object syndrome, but when opportunities come up, if it doesn't align with whatever that vision is, it's always going to be a no. And that's where people get stuck and jammed up, is that they want to say yes to everything. I know sometimes things just look so good or it seems like a really good opportunity, but if it doesn't align, we don't do it. I have a client who actually went through this, and now we're kind of unwinding it, where an opportunity came up for a potential partnership, and it didn't align with what his bigger vision was. But it seemed like a really good opportunity. Of course, money was involved. What did he do? He went with it. Now he's starting to find out it doesn't align with the vision, and it's actually taking him away from creating that vision. So now it's, okay, what is our next step to get back into alignment? So here's the thing. The 3 things that you want to remember that you have to have in alignment with the vision is your priorities. Number 1, what are your priorities? Number 2, your people. And number 3, your processes. If your vision does not align with those people, or those people don't align with your vision, or those priorities don't align with your vision, opportunities that come up, and even the processes that you create in your business, you have to let it go. Because a lot of times it will, even if something comes up and you're like, oh, this could bring in a lot of cash, it might, but then eventually the fulfillment behind the opportunity won't be there. And then if the fulfillment's not there and it disconnects you from yourself as a CEO, and it disconnects you from the vision, and it just starts to have a trickle down effect. So the cash doesn't really mean anything because what's behind it is empty. So we always want to make sure that anything that you do is always in alignment with that vision. That vision aligns with your North Star. And that is the thing that we want to keep focusing on. Your vision will grow. It is never stagnant. It will always grow, but it will always align with your North Star, your big why as to why you're doing what you're doing, as well as your mission statement. What is it that you're doing? Like, who are you? So, and your core values, which we'll talk about your core values in another video. But if any of that is not in alignment, there's going to be dysfunction. There's going to be friction. You're going to feel it, and you start to have a disconnection, which a lot of entrepreneurs go through, and it's not regularly talked about, but we're going to talk about that and how to prevent it and how to get help when you need it. But the biggest thing that you need to remember is that everything needs to stay in alignment. It's easier than you think, but it feels, a lot of times people think it is hard because people use busyness, they use just doing random tasks, that's what they're going to focus on. And we don't want to do that. So make sure that build your plan, make sure that it aligns with that bigger vision that you're creating. All right, I'll see you in the next video.